If y'all have been around for a while, you know I've had a trying relationship with PRISMA. It's one of the best developer experiences for TypeScript devs working with databases, but it doesn't come cheap. The performance leaves a lot to be desired. The TypeScript side and the node module generation stuff can be a little annoying to get right, and certainly breaks in fun ways in monorepos. I've went to hell and back trying to make PRISMA work exactly how I need to in a lot of different places. That doesn't mean PRISMA's bad. It just means PRISMA comes with a lot of weight when you use it. And because of that, there is a lot of energy and excitement around alternatives to PRISMA. The other one I've explored in the past was Keasley, but recently we've been making a bet on Drizzle at Ping. Drizzle is an alternative ORM to things like PRISMA that is focused on being simple, minimal abstractions on top of your SQL database. Even the syntax kind of looks like writing SQL. The benefits of having something so much simpler is that integrating it is a lot easier. You can change the connection layer so you don't have to use a native database connection. You can just go straight to something like the PLANETSCALE HTTP endpoint, and now you can run on Edge. I've been enjoying Drizzle a lot, although not having docs has been rough, and the query syntax wasn't my thing, especially when it came to defining relations. I don't want to have to think in left joins. I'm not smart enough for this stuff. I don't know what a left join is. Okay. I do, don't roast me, guys, but I'd prefer to not be thinking in SQL all the time when I'm writing my code in TypeScript. And thankfully, both of these problems have been addressed with the new Drizzle release, and it's becoming easier and easier to recommend every single day. Let's take a look at what Drizzle's been working on. Here's the blog post. DrizzleORM 0.26 is out. These are the stars. They're at 5K now. I want y'all to prove that my audience can do big impact. I want to see this doubled a week after this video comes out. I want this over 10K. The link's in the top comment. Click it. Go star Drizzle to let them know that you saw us here. Anyways, first big change that they made in this release is relational queries. If you're familiar with PRISMA, this probably looks very familiar. You db.query.thething users.findMany. You say what you want attached to it, and it grabs it. And here is a user object with the posts attached. So simple, so nice. This is my language. This is SQL without the SQL. This is what dummies like myself need a lot. It still supports the old model, which is really nice. But if you're dumb like me, you could set it up correctly this way instead. And it doesn't have to be a direct traditional relation with a foreign key. You define custom relations with their relations helper. So you can make your own relations and bindings this way instead. So it's so much cleaner. So hyped that they made these changes. It makes this much more accessible for people like me. The coolest change in here is not just that the new syntax is great, it's that Drizzle will always make exactly one SQL query. So however you write this, it will convert it into one query. It might be a big query, but it will actually run one SQL query for everything you write in this syntax, versus PRISMA, which can do an unknown amount of back and forths when you write a query with a relation in it. This is very, very performant. Really cool to see. And here's the link to the new docs. Docs were the #1 requested feature since day one, and yes, they now have docs. No raindrops. Those are tears. I cried. Yeah, just the endless memes. They can't help themselves. Let's take a look at this marketing site quick, because it is beautiful. Developers love Drizzle. All of these are actual comments and tweets that they found. Everything here is a real tweet, which is beautiful. Hilarious. I love the self-awareness in their marketing and branding. It's beautiful. They forgot to change the copyright from Nextra to Drizzle. Come on, guys. Actual docs now. Installation has buttons to all the different things you might want to integrate with. Shows you how easy it is to do. They even link the MySQL course from PlanetScale, which is cool. They show the schema declaration and how this all works. One of the really cool things about Drizzle versus other solutions is that your schema is entirely in TypeScript. So you write it with this syntax where you define your tables as values, calling this table helper function. And then when you want to sync this to your database, you point to the Drizzle CLI at the file, and it reads the TypeScript and updates the database accordingly. So there's no weird schema that exists outside of TypeScript. And they can also use this to make the type definitions that you get when you use it. So this serves two roles. One is that it defines the schema in the database, that is the thing that actually gets written in your database. And the other side is that you get the type inference all inside of TypeScript without some weird compiler step. It's really nice, and we've been using it a ton at Ping. You can also infer models directly off of this if you want to have that type to access in other places that you can pass around and such too. It's really good. Generally, if you just return the thing like this, though, the type that comes out is correct. So you can infer the type off of your insert user function here instead of having to do an explicit return type, because y'all know how I feel about explicit return types. This is so cool. I'm really hyped. Prisma is not dead, but Drizzle is giving us a real reason to reconsider. And I will be using Drizzle for the foreseeable future in the projects that I make. The speed they move at, the quality of the team building it, the community involvement, and generally the hype I and a lot of others have around Drizzle is real. And it's so cool to see the hard work this team's been putting in to make something awesome. Give it a shot if you haven't already. Please throw them a star. If you want to see how much using something like Drizzle on the edge can help with your database performance, I'll pin a video here all about database performance in the edge. Thank you guys as always.